Welcome to Fouts Boxing Theory. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Abdullah Mason versus Johan Vasquez, why he got knocked down, why this, why that, whatever. And I'm going to be talking about the way that I would teach from the Fouts Boxing Academy, how to improve these types of things, talk about kind of the drills that we talk about or that we do. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get into the video, talk a little bit about moving around. So immediately getting on the line, very common thing, right? As soon as you bring your weight to the line, you're going to want to threaten your opponent. You're going to want to threaten your opponent's position, right? Notice he brings his hands over to his back to his guard here. Boom. Johan looking to control that lead hand, not allowing him to extend it and control space, and allowing him to take up space to get to this position. Notice from this position, Johan could throw a rear hand, but also Mason could throw a rear hand from here, right? From this position, break into that shot. And make an attack on their opponent's line, right? This becomes just a very, very common place for people to meet. And if people are not meeting here, usually the fight ends really quickly, okay? Now, pushing him off. Now, very interesting, right? Gets to that same position, I'll just say here, right? And as soon as he gets there, immediately attacking and fighting off there. Notice how I said rear hand. He went with a jab instead, a double jab. But notice because of the fact that he had control of the line with his lead hand, he was very, very easily able to see what Johan was going to do off of that shot, so he's able to get off the line from it. Meeting him on the line here, off the line, Johan trying to come forward with a little bit of pendulum walking, and some decent circling from Mason to the inside of his line, right? Getting back to a space where he can start controlling with the lead hand. And again, not sitting on the line, not sitting on the ropes, but finding an opportunity to create enough space to where he can start getting control and keep Johan on the outside to make his attacks very predictable from the outside here. Notice Johan trying to get to that same established position with the lead hand, but not able to pin Mason down and get him into a position where he can comfortably throw a shot yet. Now, Mason starting to feint off of that, right? Trying to get to this position and then starting to threaten Johan's position with some feints. So far, like pretty okay stuff, except that, 20 seconds has gone by and Mason hasn't really thrown any punches or controlled any space, really threatened Johan's position, and forced him to make a move, force him to do something, that might not be good for him. Right, so there he is taking a step on the line, feinting, moving kind of fast to get into a position, and looking to take advantage of the lack of a guard. Right, as we take a look at the position from Johan here, he has his hands down, and when he gets feinted here, notice he doesn't bring his lead hand up to block a shot or to cover that line there, right, and it allows Mason to kind of just feel comfortable jumping in and throwing that shot. Right, no, but notice not really blocking or parrying a possible jab. He just had his hands up. Again, a little bit of a guard now, but again, a little slip right there, not bad. Mason getting kind of stuck on the line. I don't know if he's, expecting Johan to take another step off the line. Decent slip, but kind of slow off of that stepping jab onto the line there. Little feint right there. Pretty well timed. Oh, there you go. Getting a little bit of control of the line here. And as Johan gets on the line, beat, and then tries to break into this position here in pendulum. Very, very, very dangerous move. Mason landing a very, very quick rear hand shot. Pretty well timed, pretty difficult to interact with. Right, so getting again right off of this timing here, boom. As soon as he touches his glove, he just explodes into this shot. Really, really well timed. Also, pretty good strategy getting off the line, not having to cross it. And again, the same thing right there, timing him. As soon as that shot gets to the line, the lead hand from Johan, he gets his weight from the back foot toward the front foot, touches that hand, and then gets attacked. It does look like he's kind of parrying this shot here and allowing him to kind of come forward with a second shot or like a follow-up jab. Boom. Picking him off again. Johan not very good at parrying the jab or interacting with the jab. Tries to parry it right there. Boom. Now, Mason kind of sitting on one side of the line here for quite a while. Notice not very good blocking here. We can see if we take a look at his structure here. Boom, we can see this kind of gap right there, right? We can see that his arm is here, right? There's nothing covering the side of his face over here. So in this position, he's going to be open to kinds of hooks, But again, we can see here when he approaches the line here, right? He doesn't really have any guard here. Okay, there's no guard over this hole. There's nothing here. And all Vasquez has to do is kind of break into a shot and try to be very quick. Even in this position while he has a guard here, this is not enough to block an overhand shot or always even block a rear hand. Okay, but it is sometimes enough to at least discourage stuff in this line here, right? Nothing, your opponent's generally not going to throw a shot into something that they know will be blocked very easily, right? Just right at their glove all the time, unless you're doing it on purpose, okay? Oh, uh-oh. Now, I have seen this clip here, so I knew it was coming, but I haven't seen the rest of this fight here. So rear hand pushes him off the line here, starts taking a step off the line, and now notice he gets controlled here by this shot, and Johan's going to be penduluming onto him and then controlling him. But look at the position that Mason is in. From this position, he has to either pendulum step backwards or he has to make an attack on his opponent's line. Okay, and if he pendulum steps backwards, if he doesn't move his head across the line like this, his head's going to wind up being like this in the same position that his opponent was basically already looking to attack. Okay, so when he moves straight back like that into that position, he gets controlled on the way down from his opponent. Okay, but he also finds himself in another position where he's in the same exact position. He either pendulum steps off the line or he makes an attack and brings his weight forward. Now, he doesn't have to attack. He could just move his weight forward, but very likely he would only do that if he was going to attack or just lose the fight. Right now, what happens? He's not been crossing the line. He's not been transitioning his weight anywhere. He pendulum stepped backwards, and now he has only the only other option is to pendulum step backwards again, or come forward with his weight. And Johan is in a position where he has control of the line with his rear hand here, and he's going to come back across the line with his lead hand, and it's going to put Abdullah Mason in a very predictable position here. And again, this is one of the reasons why you don't cross the line or you don't start sequences, rather, with an uppercut. Okay, it's very, very, very bad. His head didn't really cross the line. It didn't do the things. And again, he winds up just walking into a punch with his full weight, going down, up, and bringing all of his weight right into Johan's shot. You know, Johan, not the greatest puncher, not a bad puncher, but like when you do have to work for your opponent, you don't really have a guard, you don't move your head for so many beats in a row, you know, it just makes it easy for your opponent to predict the sequence really well and make you pay for it, right? And that's exactly what happens here. He's not really hurt that much, you know, he's just, I don't want to say fine, you know, but strategically, if that's something that continues to happen in a fight, you're going to lose that fight, right? All right. He's fine. He's fine. Come on. Notice the referee gives him like all the time in the world, rubs his glove, let him circle around. Now again, pendulum stepping backwards. And notice he tries to cross the line here. Boom. Getting pushed off the line. No head movement. Getting pushed off the line, right? And notice him come straight across the line here. Very, very, very dangerous. You know, if a left hook and then a right hand comes, you know, but not very, very good head movement, right? He's not very... His active guard needs a lot of work. And we can see that, you know, if a guy who can have a little bit of active guard can put a little bit of pressure on him, you can have a lot of success against him because, again, he's pendulum stepping straight back off the line and doesn't have a lot of head movement, you know. Now, again, the same kind of problem, right? Good combination right there. When he leaves the line here, boom. He's going to get off the line and, again, comes back onto the line. He's not really crossing the line. He's not moving his head to his front foot. He's not transferring his weight. All his weight is kind of getting stuck in the same position. Now, again, he throws an uppercut here. Did he follow it up, boom, and throw a left hook and get his head off the line? Did he throw that uppercut and get off the line? He kind of just threw that uppercut and like kind of did nothing, you know, breaking another very classic rule of, you know, basic defensive responsibility, right? Again, once you get on the line with your opponent, your opponent is either they've been waiting for this opportunity to punch you, right? And now you give it to them, and he lands a decent shot, and then he winds up just getting rocked, you know? Now, his opponent pendulum steps onto his line, and I saw this clip too. Really, really good shot here. Cracks him. He's going to control space. Boom. Touch him as he's touching him, and he's just a little bit faster with that rear hand. Remember how quick he was with that straight right hand or that straight left hand when he touched the glove? Pop, pop. And then he was able to catch him with the straight. This is the same timing as soon as he gets to that position. So super fast. This kind of stuff is going to make Abdullah Mason very, very difficult to fight in the future. But again, the head movement thing, you know, again, this guy Johan, he's like an okay guy, right? He's okay, right? But he's not a great fighter, right? And if a guy like this is able to catch him and make him pay, and we're just gonna skip over this stuff here, make him pay for that stuff, these flaws, an actual good fighter, is gonna put him out. Okay, now, uh, very interesting. Notice how low he gets. Nothing wrong with that, but also notice how horse stance his legs kind of get. It is important to have like a good range of motion and stuff in your training and all that stuff, but um, actively just bending your legs like this and like being in the middle of your line, not only is it very difficult, but there's no strategic advantage here. Notice he's all coiled, he's all ready, and the first thing that happens is he just gets smacked. And notice he's trying to bring his weight from the middle to the back half of the line, but he's stuck in the middle here. He has no momentum, he has nothing. He has to get hit first, right, before he can make it off the line. Again, just bad strategy. You don't really want to be doing that. Now, again, he moves to the back foot, comes up with the uppercut. All right, gets to throw another combination because he's super fast. He's way faster than this guy, right? Pendulum into a little hook. Stepping jab. Again, doesn't have very good defense. Not moving his head very much. Oh, and then getting a hit with I didn't know he went down again. Not moving his head again. In the same position. Again, he's on the back foot here. He's got his little Philly shell kind of thing going, right? And his opponent is crossing the line and throwing this punch. And, even though Mason still catches him like pretty cleanly when he crosses the line and throws this shot here, because he has like an advantage in reach and height and all that fun stuff, right? But he's getting hit with a shot where his opponent's getting much more momentum into it, much more power into it. And also he's punching into it as well, right? Catches him with a great shot. Again, the lack of head movement, the lack of crossing the line, all these things are also like exacerbated by the fact that this guy, I don't want to call him a weight bully. He's a little kid, right? He's a little kid growing into his body. Nothing wrong with that. But if we're going to call a spade at this point in his career, he's a guy that has a massive advantage against his opponents because he's so much taller than them. And this allows him to fight guys who are at disadvantage, right? But also it stops him from having to be good at boxing, or rather, be good at all the moves, right? He doesn't have to be that good at it. He only has to do this move this percent well because he has this much percent reach and height advantage against his opponents, right? So he's going to get away with having this terrible guard over and over and over and over again, all the way up until somebody makes him pay. Now, again, if you guys want to learn how to move around the ring, you guys want to learn how to do all the stuff that I'm giving these guys shit for, you want to learn how to do it better, you want to learn how to do it, and you want to learn how to do it with a whole community of people who are also learning how to do it, so you can learn off the back of them learning, so that they can learn off the back of you learning, and you guys can all learn together and be killers all at the same time. Check out the Fouts Boxing Academy, okay? I'm the first coach in history to be able to crack all of punching power and be able to teach punching power to anybody. Not only can I teach you to throw your best punch, but I can teach you to improve it. Okay, everyone in the world thinks that punching power is a God-given thing, and I'm going to teach you. I'm going to play God, and I'm going to teach you how punching power works. I'm going to give it to you. Okay, so check it out. Again, check out the reviews. Okay, if you think I'm bullshitting, if you think, whatever, look at the reviews, right? They don't lie. These are not paid actors, right? Again, if I was lying, right, everyone in boxing hates me. Everyone fucking hates me. No one wants to be my friend because I talk all this shit and everyone's like, blah, 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 blah. But why is it that not a single person who's bought that thing has ever come to me and said, fake news? There's no bad reviews. There's nobody coming to my channel saying, that doesn't work. He's lying. He's this. Why? Why? Because the evidence is out there. I'm the best. I'm the fucking greatest coach ever. Check it out, Fouts Boxing Academy. If you want to learn with the group, check out the Fouts Boxing Academy. If you just want to do your own thing, check out the Fouts Boxing Combat System. Work your way through it. But the Fouts Boxing Academy is one of the ways that I want to teach the Fouts Boxing Combat System. I also do all of the film study stuff there. I do a whole bunch of other stuff. It's really cool, whatever. And also people post links to the streams and stuff of the fights. Don't tell anybody. But yeah, if you guys want to watch some stuff. Anyway, getting back to the film study here. A lot of beats right here of not crossing the line for Abdullah Mason, right? Mason. Now, check this out. When he moves to this position, look at how he doesn't bring his rear hand here, okay? He didn't bring his hand. There's going to be guys when he fights eventually that are going to be able to make him pay for this. He's trying to be sneaky, but I want to tell you, Mr. Mason, you're not fucking sneaky. You think your opponent doesn't see you moving into this position, right? Are you training to fight low-level guys? Are you training to fight bums? Also, he's training to fight people who are shorter than him. So just moving his head into this position, not having to bring his hand with him, his rear hand, allowing him to keep it on his chest. Again, everyone agrees that that's not keeping your hands up, right? That's nothing. It's worthless. Okay. If his opponent was fast and snappy, he'd be able to smack him in the face. Wow. Right? Just steal a punch from him. Okay. But it's one of those things he's going to get away with because he fights little guys, little munchkin men. And then again, take a look at how he leaves the line, right? With this position here, right? See his Philly shell-like hand? The left hand is on his chest. Now the right hand is on his chest. And the left hand is on his chest. And then he breaks out of this position to throw a stepping jab. And look at his opponent moving off the line here, right? He still might be getting hit, but that's not the point, right? The point is that he's doing this little like shuffle thing, ooh, 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 you know, because he doesn't know how to cross the line correctly with his guard up, right? And again, all this stuff is going to be like a compounding problem. As we can see, he's getting dropped by bums, right? I don't want to say Johan's a bum, actually. The guy that I respect his film study theory and his film study ability and his dedication, you know, to this stuff. Has a lot of respect for this guy. Has won a lot of money off of Johan knocking out other bums. So I don't want to disrespect Mr. Johan. And he's got a cool name, right? Now again, coming straight in, when Abdullah Mason is in this position here, he's on one side of the line, which means when he jumps onto the line with the jab, he has to cross it, and now he has to go from that side of the line unless he's throwing a double jab or a jab hook, right? But he has no guard on the second shot here. It's very predictable because he doesn't cross the line ever in any of his stuff. Boom, and just gets smacked with the shot. Teofimo Lopez knocks him out. Sandor Martin knocks him down. Ryan Garcia sparks him. I don't know that these guys are in his weight class, but they're going to be in eventually. This guy's really tall, right? Tank Davis annihilates him, right? Again, not being able to cross the line, not being able to disguise your attacks. He only has one probe, one way to step and flash onto the line real quick and make his opponents, you know, freeze up or shell up or put themselves in a bad position, right? Again, a lot of these things are products of him fighting guys who are smaller than him, right? Making a career or making a sparring session out of fighting guys who are tiny, can't take advantage of these kinds of flaws, and they don't force him to fight in a way that challenges him. You know, so he's going to be making small mistakes. And like, here's the thing. You guys think that I'm talking, you know, you guys might think I'm talking shit bad about Abdullah Mason, but like, if Johan Vasquez was the center of this, man, I'd be laying into him too. He sucks, you know, straight up, right? No, okay. We got the little tiny camera up there. I don't know why they do this at the beginning of the rounds, but because so that nobody can watch the fights. You know, it's so stupid. Honestly, the people at Top Rank are such dumbasses. But we can see a little bit of him stepping jab here. Again, not really crossing the line, not transitioning his weight anywhere, making it very, very easy, I want to say, for his opponent to kind of line up where his head is going to be. All right, I know. Mason's going to knock him out any second, so let's kind of get to it. But doing the shift thing, again, real quick. What are his only two options right here? He gets pushed off the line. Here's the rear hand. Boom. He can either continue leaving the line or he can bring his weight forward and make an attack. So he continues moving off the line and pendulum steps off the line this time, right? Looking for an opportunity to reset to where he can get a little bit of control over the line. Now, Johan not really playing with the lead hand control game, not really wanting to expose his line. I think he realizes right now how fast Abdullah Mason is. And like, again, decent trying opportunities to parry, but again, his guard is just not very good. Mr. Johan, he doesn't really know how to parry. Look at that parry right there, right? Boom, jumping, getting lead foot dominance. And then again, he's not really getting made to counter or to pay for the shot, but he jumps with his head on one side of the line, and now he's here, doesn't move his head at all. Ryan Garcia sparks him. Anybody with a quick left hook sparks him. That move never works unless you're just the taller guy, right? Again, this very, very big hole with the guard. He's getting hit here. He's on the inside here for some reason, right? And again, another left hook right here. Boom, might get him pretty good. Again, doesn't really have a guard in this position. He's basically on the line here. Either punch from either hand would be enough to hurt him while he's taking a step like that and could drop him again. Now, again, I do want to say he's fast, he's snappy, right? I don't know how hard he punches. Being a guy that's, again, he's just bigger than all of his opponents as well. Will he still have punching power when he moves up? Maybe. Again, super quick here. Pop. Touching the lead hand here. Boom, boom. Right? Giving him a little bit of lead hand control and smashing him. But yeah, a little bit of fake boxing here. He does like that uppercut quite a bit here. He's going to jump in with a little hook. Boom. And then uppercut here. Right on the chin. Again, other moves that are very difficult to do when you're not that much bigger than your opponent. Right? And again, he's so much bigger than this guy. He's sneaking in uppercuts where this guy might not normally see them or think that he could be hit by that shot, because he just has like a few more angles of punches that work geometrically, right? Because he's so big. But again, kind of getting smacked by a hook here. Very poor defense on the inside. What does a fight look like with this guy when he has to box somebody? How does he circle and move around? How does he take advantage of that stuff? Finally crossing the line, still not bringing his guard. And again, he doesn't even need his guard right now because this guy's not that good. But eventually when he needs to do all this stuff and keep his guard up, poor defensive responsibility, steps on the jab, closes the distance and lands a jab there, but closes the distance for no reason. He could be landing that jab without taking a big leaping step right there. It doesn't really make any sense unless he was just expecting him to move off the line straight off and then give him that space so he can move him to the ropes, right? So unless he was just completely expecting something completely different. So getting to that same position, and I like this, not going with the uppercut, penduluming. The timing of that shot, he tries to hit him on the way down on the pendulum, and he rips across the line with the rear hand. Very, very dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous here on the line. So boom, boom, makes it to this position, forced to shift forward, right? Here's his pull here-ish motion. He makes it to this position, eats a body shot, goes for a counter, but he's kind of getting hit. Again, he didn't really move his head or know where his head is supposed to go, have any defensive responsibility. Ooh. And again, no guard with that right arm whatsoever. But at least he's fast, right? At least he can kind of throw good shots on the inside. Looks like he got him with a body shot right there to hurt him. That's probably going to finish him, right? Let's go ahead and skip through. Yeah, it looks like that's it. But yeah, a lot of huge, huge, huge flaws from Abdullah Mason. Again, his guard, not very good. His stepping jab when he gets on the line. There's so many extra beats there when he doesn't follow up with the rear hand. Him not, having that thing where he like moves straight up off the line, pendulum stepping backwards, leaves a lot of space for him to get hit, to be chased. Not having his guard with him means that all it'll take is a guy who's fast and snappy and who's just a little bit faster or catches him a little bit off guard. Because here's the thing, no matter how good you are, right, as we saw in this fight, no matter how fast and snappy and this and that you are, somebody's still going to be able to eventually, surprise you. Like this guy was able to surprise him a couple of times, right? At least 3 times. And eventually that guy's going to be good. Eventually he's going to know like a few of those places to surprise you, right? And again, I don't think that Mason has the ability to move around the line, use his guard, this and that, and still be sneaky and still use all those surprising things. I think it'll be easy to catch him at the highest level. The holes that he has are they're just too basic. Okay. Anyway, Fouts Boxing Academy, blah, 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 blah.